Shalom, shalom. Call Haloyim Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Machak Wadash and Shani Kabad Kadwala Rakwab Zakwanyam Nawa Washala Yakim Nawa. And that's double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And Shalom Wabarakim Labakaryam Shalayasharala. And that's peace and blessings to the elect of Israel. And a peace and blessings to the confusion of faces. And may the double portion, or may a double portion of the Holy Spirit be put upon the brothers that are out there on the highways and byways offering their bodies as a living sacrifice out there on the front lines. So I want to start off by reading the book of Luke, the 12th chapter. And through the Spirit, I really just want to get into a quick video just going into the fact that keep in mind all the prophecies that are happening right now, specifically the plagues and pestilences that are happening around the globe. I mean, you have, water turning into different colors, bloodshot red in some places. You have different insects plaguing different cities and states and things like that. And then you have, of course, the measles and different outbreaks of diseases and sicknesses really happening everywhere as well. Just keep in mind that all these events that are happening have been prophesied in the Bible, and they're signs. They're signs for the elect to see in order to build up our faith. We call ourselves a hopeful elect because we're doing the work of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, but they're plain signs to the elect, as it is written, unto the pure all things are pure, and to the unjust all things are unjust. I believe is what it says. But just keep in mind that the Lord is blinding certain people so that they don't understand the times and seasons that we're living in. So even though these things and signs that is maybe plain to you, you may have your eyes open because the Lord is allowing you to see the signs and the time that we're living in. Not everybody is going to hearken and to see the same exact signs. They may hear about the measles outbreak or hear about all these insects that are plaguing certain areas, but to them it's not a sign. It's not they're not living in the same season as you are, because the Lord is blinding them. And that's exactly why the Lord is going to come as a thief in the night to most people, because they're not watching. Through the Spirit, the Lord is having us up at night, and we're constantly on our guard, and we're watching, and we understand the time and season that we're living in. And that's exactly why the scriptures say after the first or second admonition, then a heretic you reject. Meaning a heretic is someone that believes in a false doctrine. Someone that believes in a false doctrine is someone that's been blinded. It's someone that doesn't understand the time and season that you're living in. They don't see the prophecies the same exact way, and therefore you reject that individual. You cast them off. There's nothing you can do about that situation. And it is what it is. If they've been blinded, they're back in the world. Depending on who it is, hey, we live in the flesh, so sometimes it may be a sorrowful thing, but you have to gird up your loins and really just be blessed that you actually, through the Spirit, can see these times and seasons. So with that being said, once again, starting here in the book of Luke, the 12th chapter, starting in verse 54, it says, "And he said also to the people, When ye see a cloud rise out of the west, straightway ye say, There cometh a shower, and so it is, so it rains. And when ye see the south wind blow, ye say, There will be heat, and it cometh to pass. Ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky and of the earth, but how is it that ye do not discern this time?" Because once again, everybody may see the same exact, we're just going to call them signs. They may see certain mosquitoes plaguing in a certain area. They may see different insects and things happening to, I'm just going to say the land, water, animals going extinct, whatever it may be. But to them, it's not going to be a sign. And they may actually say that they believe in so-called Jesus Christ, right? They may say they believe in the Messiah, is what I'm going to say, all right? But at the end of the day, it says what? Ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky But how is it that you do not discern this time? Because they may be saying they believe in the Messiah and that they're looking out for him, but truly, if you're living in a certain season, that means that you're going to be conducting yourself differently. You're going to be living differently. As an example, if you're up at night and you really are watching, that means you're going to be on your guard. You may have a certain weapon by you. You're going to be alert. You have your binoculars. You're pacing back and forth. But then you have certain people that say, oh yeah, we're on our watch and we're waiting for the Lord. But they're falling asleep on their watch. Their weapon dropped on the floor and they don't even realize it. They're, once again, just dozing in and out. But they're being blinded. They don't understand the time and season that we're living in. And you just have to leave that person alone. Now, this is the book of Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. And we're only going to read the first verse. It says, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Now, when you jump into the Hebrew and you look up that word season, the Hebrew word there for season is zaman. Zaman. And what does it say? A set time or what? An appointed time. And that's exactly what it's getting into. A specific or appointed time, a designated time for something to happen. Now, what does it say over here in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter? We're going to start at verse 1. 2nd Ezra 9 verse 1 says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. Now, what does it mean when you measure something? Are you not basically seeing how long something is? Or maybe how short? But for the most part, you're seeing how long something is. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're waiting for the Lord to come back and for his kingdom and righteousness to be established on earth. So we're basically saying, how long? Right? How long, O Lord? So we're waiting. And that's exactly how you measure the time. You say how long, and what you do is you look at prophecy through the Spirit in the Bible, and then you look at different articles and you see what's happening in the world, and that's how you can get a gauge on how long, or basically saying what time or season that you're living in. So it says, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time, that appointed time, zaman, wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Remember, we have seasons and times that we're living in, and therefore we understand when we see certain things come to pass, okay, all right, prophecies are coming to pass. I need to live my life according to the season that we're in. I need to stay on my guard. I need to stay on my watch. Meaning what? I need to be remaining to operate in the Spirit with spiritual judgment, spiritual discernment, using wisdom every single day, reading, praying, staying occupied in prophecy, making videos, going out there in highways and byways, and ultimately offering up a righteous sacrifice. Verse 3 says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, these are the seasons, or this represents the season. Rather, you see prophecies that represent the season. Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, which is what? An appointed time, and the end is manifest, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings, and wonder and powerful works, and endings and effects and signs. That's zaman, meaning an appointed time. You see? But the point in this video is just to rejoice and to be glad that you've been called into this ministry, and continue to hope that you've been elected, because you can actually see the season and time that we're living in. you understand these prophecies that are coming to pass, and therefore you know the season we're living in, and you're able to offer up a righteous sacrifice. But most people, just understand and keep in mind that most people in this world aren't going to see the same exact signs that you see in a spiritual way. They're not going to look at the same earthquakes and uproars and riots of the people and different insects plaguing the world and things like that. They're not going to look at it as signs, and therefore they're not going to understand the season that we're living in. But just always remember, always keep in mind that through the Spirit, you know, no matter what anybody else says, you know what time and season that we're living in. And don't let your guard down. Don't get caught off guard, with how these people are acting in the world, with them getting caught up in their big businesses and making money and thinking about longevity and the stock market and real estate and long-term 5, 10, 15-year investments, things like that. Don't get caught up in that. Remain in the Spirit, operate in the Spirit, know the times and seasons that we're living in. We see all the prophecies coming to pass at the same exact time. The mark of the beast, the microchip, is being pushed on a global scale. You see World War III coming to pass. You see trade war with Russia and China. With China and America, And you know that trade wars lead to what? They lead to real, actual wars, because trade wars is about money. And that's ultimately, no matter what it is, that's ultimately what leads people to war. It's money. That's what it is at the end of the day. Right? So you see that as well. And once again, you see uproars and riots of the people. You see all these plagues and pestilences. We know we're living in the very, very, very end days, in which it's only going to take a small, quick incident that could happen any day to really have some kind of global, or really I'm going to say an economic collapse. Let me say that, an economic collapse in America that could lead to a global collapse. Because if America goes down, all these other nations are going to go down with it. It's going to be a domino effect. So with that being said, I do pray that this video is edifying to the elect. I want to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Chakudash, for giving us a light to see and for giving us the understanding of prophecy so that we can see these different signs and therefore understand the season that we're living in, so that we can understand prophecy. That's a beautiful thing, to have your eyes open, and always continue to pray that the Lord keeps your eyes open, so that we don't ever, be in blindness or be in darkness. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessing to the elect. Shalom.